commercial break, and there's a question that I tend to get very often, and it usually has something to do with favorite songs, you know. Favorite songs by band A, favorite songs by band B, favorite songs in this genre with this tempo, favorite songs with these lyrics, favorite songs with, or whatever, but I tend to get a question very often revolving around my favorite songs of a type. You know, favorite happy songs, favorite chipper songs, favorite depressing songs. Well, this one I liked very much because I have plenty of options. And it's my favorite sad songs. And I like this question primarily because you can utilize sad in this context in many different ways. It's a case of you can utilize sad as, okay, this is sad. I like this song, or song A, because it sounds sad, or because the lyrics are sad, because the music video was sad, because its message was sad, because of the events that led to it were sad. Well, I'm going to rank my top 5 favorite sad songs based on all of those categories. So congratulations, you don't get a Zachary specific answer, you get a Zachary general answer. Good job for you. So, I'm not going to go in order, but I will say my top 5 favorite songs. First one is Carry You Home by James Blunt. I just like the fact that his voice would be able to put me to sleep just as quickly as it would make me cry. So that's fantastic. That's a very beautiful range of emotions dictated in an individual's voice. I like how soothing it is. I love the fact that there's not much of a building tempo. It's not like it escalates into anything before hitting the climax and then you know. But I like the fact that it steadily increases, but doesn't increase to the point where it's like it becomes happy, like it becomes cheerful. It kind of remains like a downer song, you know, as it goes along. It's like a song you listen to on a rainy day when you're depressed, you know, shoving your heart halfway down a tube of Edie's double fudge brownie ice cream because you think the world hates you, feel the world hates you, and then the world flips you the bird in the form of a fucking cloud in the middle of a blue sky. God, I almost had a stroke. God, I thought I was having a stroke there. Anyway, Carry You Home by James Blunt. Love that song. Hurt by Johnny Cash. There are going to be a couple of songs on this list that are covers of originals, or that I'm talking about that are not the original. They're like a cover, or they're a redistribution, so on and so forth. Primarily because a lot of covers are turned into sadder songs, you know. Hurt by Trent Reznor and 9 Inch Nails. It was not much of a sad song, you know. It was kind of like, it was in that parallel limbo, I would say. It was on a sadder scale, but at the same time, it was kind of grittier. It was more harsh, you know. It kind of had more emotion than just sad in it, so it doesn't really classify to my tasting as sad, because sad would have to be the overwhelming feel, and I don't think that sad was the overwhelming feel in the 9 Inch Nails version. But undoubtedly, especially due to circumstance, Hurt by Johnny Cash was a very, very sad version of the song, and a very, very sad song overall. What I'm talking about by circumstance is the fact that both himself and his wife would pass away, or would die less than 7 months after the release of this song. The music, it breaches all fucking categories. The music video was able to kind of be a very beautiful telling tale of this brilliant artist's life and life he lived, and it's kind of like a nodding ode to a legend, and I very much enjoyed it. It has a lot of emotion in it. Obviously, it hits in the tons of feels. First time I heard the song was, it was back when I watched the original tribute to Eddie Guerrero back on WWE's Monday Night Raw show, where Eddie Guerrero, when he obviously was still wrestling the company at the time, tragically passed away in his hotel room. They had the tribute show the Monday following his death, and you know, they had a little promo package, like a little highlight reel of his highest achievements, and like this very feel-good, you know, momentous video to celebrate his life, and in the background was Hurt by Johnny Cash, so it always gave it a special place in my heart. It was done so well in that moment, and on top of that, it could fit to any of those circumstances. I Loved One Dies. Hurt is a great, Johnny Cash's Hurt is a fantastic song to play. The same could be said, in celebration. The same could be said when you're looking back to try to dig deep into that emotion. There's also there's time to it where you can look at somebody's self-loathing and self-hating and just hates everything about themselves, and you can show them this song, and it kind of breaks out an emotional feel in them that you can kind of restructure and help rebuild. So I very much enjoyed Johnny Cash's version of Hurt, just like I do Jeff Buckley's version of Hallelujah. So I like Hallelujah as well by Jeff Buckley, another cover of her. I believe it was originally penned by I always call him Lauren Cohen. I don't know why. Probably because of the fucking Walking Dead actress, I guess. Leonard Cohen, my bad, or Cohen. Leonard Cohen's version was incredible. I loved the passion in his voice, and I loved the fact that he was able to break through his normal, routine vocal pattern and vocal structure to kind of bellow out something more haunting and deep with Hallelujah. But when it comes down to Hallelujah being a sad song, if you were to ask anybody with the knowledge of all of the many different publicized and promotionalized covers of songs relating to Hallelujah, I think you would see an overwhelming number of people say that the most beautifully sad song or sad version of the song Hallelujah would be by Jeff Buckley, the singer that tragically passed away back in, I believe, 1994, but I could be wrong on that. Could be a couple of years off. He released one studio album. Hallelujah was on there, as well as his the title track to the album, Grace. Obviously, he had the song Grace. The two fantastic songs. A lot of people would, who haven't heard Jeff Buckley's version of Hallelujah would be like, well, how so? There have been millions of covers by Hallelujah. They're all beautiful. You're right. But Jeff Buckley's version was beautiful. It was sad, but at the same time, it was so beautifully haunting. You could tell that every whiff of what he said, every word he spoke, featured 1,000,001 different emotions. It's like his words bled into the microphone. I love saying bled into because it signifies something beautifully. His voice bled into the microphone bled into your emotional, chambers, for the lack of a better word, and it made you feel everything. The soft, subtle ways that he spoke to the bellowing, haunting, heart-inducing and breaking high notes that he would hit, and bellowing out these lines that you didn't hear in any other version of the song, that also connected so perfectly well because it just fits so well. That would go down as number one for me. So obviously you see that, and if you have or listened to Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah version, you would probably be in agreement with me. It's a beautiful song, probably most undoubtedly his lasting eternal legacy. So there's that. And then there are a number of songs that I could kind of pick and choose from, but I've got two left. So God, now we're at a hard point in time where I could pick by any category. I've said sad based off of tone and everything. So how about I say sad based off of How about I say sad in terms of emotionally connecting, and go with Everybody Hurts by R.E.M. I think that is a lovely song. I think it's a beautiful song. It becomes more up-tempo and high-tempoed as we go on. It kind of reaches a climax and continues on, but the overwhelming message there, or is there throughout the get-go or from start to finish, and it's always, you know, everybody hurts, everybody is sad, everybody cries, everybody is in pain, and everybody has those moments in which they kind of are at their lowest points and at their kind of wit's end. So everybody has that. You're never alone. But it's kind of all determined based off of how you go about that. You know, if you want to end that, if you want to get it, or make it better, or if you want to improve upon it, there's always, you know, that there. And I think REM's message, despite the fact that the song became a little less sad as time went on, I think REM's version of REM's song always had that message very, very, very upfront and very front line from start to finish. So I think REM's Everybody Hurts would be up there. And then we got one more spot. So, let me go with one that no, I was gonna go with My Chemical Romance's what was it? Fucking goddamn it, son of a bitch! I remember it, I can't remember it. The title of the song. For the last time you say you are never coming home, carry on, carry on. You get the point. Primarily for the music video most often, because in the case of the very distinct, definitive lyrics matching up with the pattern of the music video, matching that of the storming the beach at Normandy scene from Saving Private Ryan. So there was that, but at the same time I didn't really want to go off of a music video, because at that point in time you can really go off of anything. You know what? I'm going to go with one of my favorite songs of all time, and probably one of the most underrated songs by this band, who are also criminally underrated itself. And I'm going to go with Wide Awake by Audioslave. It is a song that I love, primarily for the fact that you, on the surface, can look at it as a case of lies and betrayal haunting an individual, but at the same time, if you dig deeper, you can see many, many, many more frontline issues, like the way that President George W. Bush utilized his handling of the Hurricane Katrina relief efforts and its aftermath, and it's also, you know, it's beforehand, you know, signals, of course. You were able to kind of see Chris Cornell and the remainder of Audioslave, Tom Morello, and goddamn it, Tim Comerford and fucking goddamn Brad Wilkes. You kind of saw them all come together into a beautiful ballad that had many different ways of looking at things, and all of them kind of had a sad twist to them. But also at the the conclusion of the song, once you kind of wrapped your mind around everything that had happened already, and everything that you've been told, and everything that you've been hearing and taking into account, you know, the come pull the sheet over my eyes so I can sleep tonight, despite what I've seen today. I find you guilty of the crime. I'm sleeping here at a time when you should have been wide awake. Fucked up the lyrics, but whatever. Wide awake, oh, wide awake, oh, wide awake, wide awake. I just love that. I'm sorry. I always bellow it out. It's fantastic, because it's kind of like you're rolling up and up and up a hill. You're not rolling down. It's not constantly pushing you down a hill as you go in the song. It's building you up. You're getting in the groove of things while taking into consideration everything that you've been hearing throughout the song and everything that's continuing to go along the song. You're like a stone being pushed uphill. You're being pushed to your destination. You keep, climbing up, and you keep getting closer and closer to the top. And once you get to the top, and you've understood the whole, the meaning of the ride going up the hill, and you're overlooking everything below the hill, and the beautiful scenery, you're hit with the constant courses of wide awake, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. this case of, throughout the whole song, you know, so come pull a sheet over my eyes, which you can take in a million different ways, and you can take into consideration a group of different, you know, conversations that could have started, and a group of different meanings that they could have taken on. But the overall bearing of, so come pull the sheet over my eyes, to I'm wide awake, it's this beautiful contrast. You know, one is the case of you're trying to shield them from absolutely everything that they can see. You're trying to stop them from seeing that. But on the other hand, you have Cornell at the very conclusion of it all taking on that role of the individual trying to be blinded by whomever's trying to pull the sheet over his eyes, saying, hey, I'm still wide awake. I can still see every single bit of this. But the message rolling in through that before, you know, the whole wide awake just conclusion allows you to look at the scenery. It's kind of like this beautiful uphill climb before getting to the top and taking in the scenery before understanding what the ride up to the top of the hill was supposed to mean. So there was that. Also, I'm sorry, this is a poor quality iPhone microphone, so when it comes down to it, yeah, we're pretty much fucked. I didn't have the regular microphone with me. I'm sorry. I had to utilize this little fucking itty-bitty headphone jack from my old iPhone and plug it into the fucking dispenser, so I'm sorry. My apologies, but you get the point. Also, I'm sorry for making you hear me sing. I know some of you didn't want to hear sign up to hear that, so that's, you know, that's that. You know, brief recap. There's Carry On by James Blunt. There is Hurt by Johnny Cash. There is Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley. There is REM's Everybody Hurts, and there is Wide Awake by Audioslave. You know, many different reasons for it, and you can come up with many different songs about it. But, you know, those are my top 5. And at the end of the day, I think when when you look down at everything, you kind of take into a position of the matter that you have to appreciate the songs in order to be able to rank them properly to begin with, or kind of qualify them properly to begin with. Because while I wanted to do My Chemical Romance's Ghost of You, that's what it's called, because I wanted to do My Chemical Romance's Ghost of You, I kind of had to dig deeper and see a song that had a deeper meaning than that, you know, that made it more significantly sad, because, you know, there were plenty of options. You know, you could have had a Beatles song, you could have had a Stones song. How the Rolling Stones is Wild Horses. Wild Horses. Sorry. I think I went Eddie Vedder. My bad. Sorry. I went into Eddie Vedder mode. I'm sorry. But, you know, you get the point. There's there are many different songs. You could have done Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. But, obviously that would have been a very obvious choice. Could have done November Rain by Guns N' Roses. And now November Rain. Yeah, you get the point. Either way. That's my little list, and I hope whoever asked that, I didn't get a name on the paper this time, whoever asked that, I hope you got your money's worth for that conversation. So with that, I guess Hard Complex is coming back in 60. Stay tuned.